In the heart of medieval Europe, a single tree symbolized the clash between two worldviews. In 723, the sound of an axe echoed through the forest of Geismar, marking one of the most dramatic moments in the history of Christianity. Saint Boniface, armed only with his faith and a simple tool, was about to challenge Thor, the god of thunder, in his sacred domain. What happened that day would forever alter the course of European history. Chapter 1. Who was Saint Boniface? Winfrid was born during a time of great transformation in medieval England, when Christianity and paganism still vied for the faith of the people. His noble family envisioned a prosperous career for the young boy, but his heart burned with a different calling. Against all expectations of his time and facing familial resistance, young Winfrid chose the monastic life in his adolescence. In the Benedictine monasteries, his extraordinary intelligence and dedication to study quickly caught the attention of his superiors, who saw in him an extraordinary potential. It was during his missionary travels that he received the name Boniface from Pope Gregory II, meaning one who does good. The new name would mark not only his mission, but also his determination to bring the Christian message to the edges of the known world. In his first attempts at evangelization in Frisia, Boniface faced fierce resistance. The initial failure, however, did not diminish his resolve. He returned to Rome, where he received not only blessings from the Pope, but also letters of recommendation that would open significant doors for his mission. His eloquence and ability to engage with different cultures made him a natural diplomat. Boniface could move seamlessly between nobles and peasants, between the educated and the illiterate, adapting his message without ever compromising its essence. What few know is that Boniface was also a remarkable intellectual. He left a vast correspondence that allows us today to understand not only his mission, but also the complex web of political and religious relations in medieval Europe. His letters reveal a man who combined unwavering faith with a keen understanding of human nature. Chapter 2. The Challenge of the Sacred Oak. In the region of Geismar, the gigantic oak dedicated to Thor was more than just a tree. It was the center of pagan power. Rituals performed under its shadow involved sacrifices and offerings that kept the local population in a constant state of fear and submission. Boniface observed the pagan rituals for weeks, carefully studying the best way to demonstrate the supremacy of Christ. His prayers revealed that only a dramatic gesture could break centuries of superstition and fear that enslaved the people. The news that a foreign monk planned to challenge Thor spread quickly. Crowds gathered to witness what they considered a certain death sentence for the missionary who dared to defy their most feared god. In a gesture that would forever change the course of European history, Boniface not only decided to fell the oak, he publicly announced his intention. This demonstration of absolute faith impressed even his staunchest opponents. As pagans and Christians gathered around the sacred oak, Boniface seized the moment to teach about the true nature of the divine. His words, preserved in ancient manuscripts, reveal profound wisdom about confronting fear with faith. For those intrigued by this extraordinary story of courage and faith, I recommend our ebook, 50 Saints, Stories and Prayers for Divine Intervention. In it, you will find not just one but 50 inspiring accounts of saints who transformed history with their unwavering faith. Chapter 3. Pagan Europe. 8th century Europe was a mosaic of ancient beliefs, where gods like Thor, Odin, and Freya ruled the popular imagination. In the dense forests of Germania, every ancient tree held stories of sacrifices and mysterious rituals. Recent archaeological discoveries have revealed pagan altars with evidence of elaborate offerings. Nordic priests maintained a complex system of rituals that governed everything from planting to decisions of war. The influence of the Nordic gods extended beyond religion. It shaped the very structure of society. Tribal chiefs legitimized their power through supposed direct connections with Thor, keeping the population under control through divine fear. Christianity was seen as a threat to the established order. Earlier missionaries had been killed or expelled, and their churches destroyed. Resistance to the new faith was not only spiritual, but deeply political. An intricate network of alliances between pagan priests and local leaders made any attempt at evangelization difficult. Every missionary faced not only religious resistance, but an entire system of power. Records from the time reveal that some peoples practiced a curious mix of Christianity and paganism, attempting to appease all gods. This syncretism represented one of the greatest challenges for missionaries seeking genuine conversions. Chapter 4. The First Missions. Before facing Thor, Boniface developed a unique evangelization strategy. Unlike other missionaries, he deeply studied the local culture before preaching, learning their languages and customs. In his early attempts in Frisia, he encountered violent resistance that nearly cost him his life. This initial failure led him to completely rethink his missionary approach, developing methods that would revolutionize evangelization. Recently uncovered documents reveal his extraordinary network of contacts. Boniface maintained regular correspondence with kings, popes, and other missionaries, creating a true support network for the mission of evangelization. His letters to Pope Gregory II show a sophisticated understanding of human psychology. Boniface realized that to convert the Germanic peoples, he first needed to understand their deepest fears. A lesser-known aspect of his mission was his work with converted noblewomen. Boniface established women's monasteries that became centers of education and influence, transforming former pagan priestesses into Christian abbesses. The originality of his methods included the use of practical demonstrations. He incorporated elements of nature into his teachings, using natural phenomena to explain Christian concepts in ways the Germanic peoples could understand. Chapter 5. The Fall of the Oak and the Miracle of Faith. The first strike of the axe echoed through the valley, provoking a profound silence among those present. Some closed their eyes, expecting divine lightning to smite the bold missionary instantly. Witnesses reported that as the oak began to fall, a sudden gust of wind split it into 4 perfect pieces, as if a divine force wished to demonstrate its power through nature. This inexplicable phenomenon was recorded in several medieval manuscripts. The psychological impact was immediate. Hundreds of pagans, realizing Thor's impotence, requested baptism on the spot. At Boniface's suggestion, the wood from the sacred oak was used to construct the region's first Christian chapel. Archaeologists recently uncovered evidence of this primitive chapel, confirming historical accounts of its construction. Fragments of oak wood found in the foundations were precisely dated to the 8th century. The spiritual transformation was so profound that ancient pagan traditions began to take on new Christian meanings. The site, once a center of fear and superstition, became a hub of pilgrimage and spiritual renewal. Historical records show that in the months following the oak's fall, a wave of conversions swept the region. News of the miracle spread rapidly, attracting people from distant territories who sought to learn about the faith that had defeated Thor. Chapter 6. The Martyrdom of Saint Boniface in Frisia, a territory known for its resistance to Christianity. Boniface decided to return at the age of 80 for one final mission. His experience told him that this would be the decisive moment to consolidate the faith in the region. Accompanied by 52 companions, including his loyal scribe, Boniface journeyed into the most hostile lands of Frisia. Along the way, he displayed a surprising sense of premonition, preparing his followers for what was to come. A group of pagan warriors, fearing they would lose their influence over the local population, planned an attack during a confirmation celebration. What they did not expect was the saint's reaction in the face of imminent death. When the attackers arrived, Boniface forbade his followers from using violence in their defense. Instead of a sword, he raised a book of scriptures, which was pierced by a spear, a symbol that would become a fundamental part of his iconography. A little-known detail is that the pierced book survived and still exists, preserved as a relic in the Abbey of Fulda. The damaged pages contain passages on forgiveness and eternal life, a silent testament to his final meditations. Boniface's martyrdom, far from weakening Christianity in the region, sparked an unprecedented wave of conversions. Even his assassins, moved by the saint's courage and serenity, eventually converted years later. Chapter 7. Legacy and Curiosities. The true legacy of Boniface goes far beyond evangelization. His system for organizing dioceses established the foundation of the ecclesiastical structure that persists to this day in modern Germany and much of Central Europe. The schools founded by Boniface became centers for preserving classical knowledge during the Middle Ages. Rare manuscripts by Greek and Roman authors survived thanks to his encouragement of education and the copying of ancient texts. A fascinating aspect of his influence is his connection to the Christmas tradition. The fir tree, which replaced the pagan oak, became the universal symbol of Christmas. Historical evidence suggests that Boniface was the first to use an evergreen tree to explain the mystery of the Trinity. The Abbey of Fulda, his greatest foundation, became one of the principal cultural centers of medieval Europe. Recent research has revealed that Fulda's scriptorium preserved unique works of ancient literature that would otherwise have been lost forever. Boniface also revolutionized missionary practices. His letters and instructions to evangelizers created a model of enculturation that would be followed for centuries, influencing missions even in the Americas and Asia. Boniface's influence extended to linguistics as well. His work in translating and adapting Christian concepts to the Germanic languages significantly contributed to the development of medieval and modern German. The testimony of Saint Boniface continues to resonate through the centuries, reminding us that true revolution begins with an act of courage. His legacy is not only in the churches he founded or the traditions he inspired, but also in the profound transformation that a single person, moved by faith, can bring to the world. If you found inspiration in this extraordinary story and wish to deepen your spiritual journey, I invite you to become a member of our channel. As a member, you'll gain access to exclusive content about saints, their prayers and relics, and join our community of faithful individuals seeking spiritual growth through these inspiring examples from Christian history. May God bless you.